Everybody put on your morning outfits. Or, if you want to be cheeky, something bright, colorful, and sequined. House Speaker Mike Has-No Johnson is officially headed to the political morgue. And no, we will not be referring to him as Mike Stiff Johnson anywhere in this video, despite the rigor mortis. I'm David Reddish, welcome to Occupy Democrats, and to stay up to date on this developing story, subscribe to our channel now if you haven't. Okay, let's get to it. As you probably know, healthcare in America is teetering on a cliff. Government subsidies for the Affordable Care Act expire at the end of this month, and that expiration will send premium costs skyrocketing for millions of Americans. Some will see their monthly costs double, triple, even quadruple. And yes, I already personally know people, some with serious medical conditions, who are now faced with the strong possibility that they will lose their health coverage at the beginning of next year. That's in 2 weeks for anyone keeping track. Democrats in Congress have hammered this point for months now, demanding that House Speaker Mike Has-No Johnson allow a vote to extend the Affordable Care Act subsidies. Some far-right Republicans, including Marjorie Taylor Greene, have sided with the Democrats on the issue. Nevertheless, when confronted with the option to hold a vote, here is what Has-No Johnson had to say.
But here's the false narrative. The Democrats are pretending as though this affects everybody in the country. It affects 7% of Americans, this extended subsidy. And of those, even if it was extended without any reforms at all, it would only reduce that small group of Americans' premiums by 5.7%. The Democrats have tried to pretend as though this is all about
Americans. No, I understand that this is not for everybody, but it's 22 to 24 million Americans, and there are some Republicans whose districts are going to face some real trouble and some real issues with this. We've talked to some of them.
And if Johnson looks flaccid there, pun intended, stick around. It's about to get even softer. But consider how ridiculous Mike Johnson looks in this moment. The Affordable Care Act is more popular than ever, and despite repeated assurances over the past decade, Donald Trump and the Republicans have yet to present a health care plan of their own. At least, not one that boils down to, if you get sick, it sucks to be you, people. And yes, healthcare in the United States is outrageously expensive, and for-profit insurance companies are always looking for a way to deny care to patients or deny payments to doctors and hospitals. It's the essence of what business has become in America. Squeeze as much as you can out of a consumer and offer as little as possible in return. But I digress. Unhappy with Johnson's leadership, or lack thereof, Democrats are floating a discharge petition to force a vote on healthcare subsidies. That is, for the record, the rare procedural move overriding the Speaker's power. It's the same trick Congress used to bypass Johnson, the most powerful member of the House, on the Epstein files. And in some devastating news for Johnson, enough Republicans just broke ranks to force a vote. Take a look.
Mr. Speaker, I have an important announcement to make. And if there's anybody in the press gallery listening, I want them to hear this. You know, I have called on Republicans to put country over politics, put country over their party, to do the right thing for their constituents. And we have a discharge petition that 214 Democrats have signed on to force a bill on a 3-year clean extension. And while we have been debating, 4 Republicans have actually done that. We are now at 218. And what that means is that it sets in place a process that will allow us to vote on a clean extension. And we have 218 people who will vote for it, which means we will pass it.
Oh, wait. It gets better. Flummoxed and devastated at his own impotence, Johnson stormed out of the chamber. Take a look at this.
Have you lost control of the House?
I have not lost control.
Because this is the third time.
Look, we have the smallest majority in U.S. history. Okay? These are not normal times. There are processes and procedures in the House that are less frequently used when there are larger majorities. And when you have the luxury of having 10 or 15 people who disagree on something, you don't have to deal with it. But when you have a razor-thin margin, as we do, then all the procedures in the book, people think are on the table, and that's different.
Oh no! Being Speaker is hard when you ignore the will of your own party, not to mention the will of the American people. You know, the people that put you there, Micro Johnson. Look, Why Johnson is doing nothing to stop this humiliation is anyone's guess at this point. Is he doing it to please Donald Trump? Trump's approval is at record lows, so attaching himself to that crashing orange blimp isn't exactly wise. Is Johnson doing it on principle? Does he not know what happens to politicians that pull that self-righteous move? Herbert Hoover, anyone? Look how history remembers that dead fish. And yes, I'm calling it now. This is the end of Mike Johnson's political life. The man can't control his caucus, he's terrible at his job, and he has all the charisma of a dead fish. That's a recipe for political oblivion. So it looks like Americans may get to keep their healthcare subsidies, and it looks like Johnson should prepare for a political funeral. So, like I said at the start of this report, dress appropriately. I personally will be wearing the red sequin caftan I also plan to wear to Clarence Thomas's eventual funeral. This is Occupy Democrats.